Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What is up, everyone? How we doing?
Hey,
How we doing on this fine day?
there we go.
Did
Keep
people
coming.
work hard today?
Still working hard.
It better be.
Still on the clock.
Never off.
I don't think there is a never off.
Not for
There's
you.
always-
Didn't work at all. Good job. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Is everyone ready? I don't know if you've ever seen Steve speak before, but is everyone ready for some absolute knowledge bombs? And I honestly suggest you take notes tonight, because if he gets going too loose, depending on how much he's had to drink, then I don't know if we could distribute it or not. So
Do it with a nice glass going.
yeah, what are you drinking today?
Whiskey, little whistle pig.
Little Whistle Pig.
Yep. In honor of tonight, I thought I'd go with the good stuff.
That's the good stuff. That means he might be dropping major bombs.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I'm in kind of a ranty mood too. I got rubbed the wrong way this morning, so in the last couple of days, so I'm kind of in a ranty mood.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, the difference between Steve and a guru is Steve actually works for a living. That's what he likes to say. So
Yeah,
he does.
absolutely.
I've seen him work.
I use
It's not just it's not just one campaign that worked one time in one niche and got lucky type of stuff. It's
yeah, complete isolation.
It's some amazing stuff, and I've actually seen Steve's campaigns where the client ended up thinking that they knew more than him and took them from
2400.
took them from $100 CPA to what was that, a $700 something CPA?
Yep, in a few days.
Yeah, that is pretty breaking.
Yep, thinking they were they thought they had this Facebook thing figured out.
I'm really learning that, you know what, once you start getting into larger numbers, you really need to know what the hell you're doing, or else you're going to blow everything up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you
you know what, I'll be honest, what works at $100 a day, absolutely explodes at 1,000 and just gets obliterated at 5,000. The higher up you go, this strategy of letting the pixel ops optimize and just letting it run its own is it just gets blown up whenever you scale it up, and people always come to me and go, it worked at $500 a day, why isn't it working at 5,000? And it just does not work that way, my friends.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I've seen it too many times
So-
now.
Who in here is running Facebook ads right now but feels like they need a little help? I know a lot of e-com guys are
There's
running
me.
Facebook. Yeah.
Me, I'm bad.
Don't feel bad.
Unfortunately,
I'm bad too, compared to some people.
Is that a Michael Jackson reference?
Mhm.
I'm bad.
You bad.
Well, hopefully after tonight, Steve can shed some light on it. So the main goal is just to unchain Steve, let him run rampant, talk about whatever the heck he wants. Then we want to talk a little bit about what Mike and I have been doing with traffic, SEO traffic. It's never been easier, to be honest, to make money with that if you do it right. So we want to talk a little bit about that. Then we've got something big for everyone at the end of tonight. So stay on the entire time. Exactly. Yeah, real estate agents. This is perfect for it. You should have them.
There's been a lot of talk about people that are certain ages buying their first home. They're all over Facebook looking for ways to do that.
Because everybody is on Facebook. That's the beauty of this thing. That's what I love. You go. I went to the chiropractor today. Everybody in the waiting room on Facebook. And I just smiled and I said, customer, customer, customer.
Exactly.
And they're everywhere.
And if the chiropractor had enough money, he could get you too, right?
Yeah. Hey, if he has $50,000 to spend, I'll definitely talk to him.
That's it. What's your minimum now? Is it 50?
Yeah, it's still 50.
Yeah. Let's make that everyone's goal to set your bar at 50K a month ad spend.
Yep.
Take 15% from that management fee.
Yeah.
You can build up an income pretty quickly.
I don't I don't run anything less than $100 a day. I mean, that's my like baby step testing. Typically, I'm doing 500, and and there's a reason for it too. There's math involved. You know what I mean? Even at $100 a day, I mean, that's $4 an hour. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest eye-opening thing, Steve, talking to you, was realizing that it is a formula, and the whole thing throughout all of it is a formula, and that's what really opened my eyes to like how this stuff works, was when you started getting into that.
Yeah. The one thing I love doing is I get I go with a lot of clients, and they're bigger, and they say they give me, and they all have this big puffy chest, and they go, "Well, you have an unlimited budget," and I just go, "No, you don't." Like, what do you mean? And I said, "Well, you have X audience. It's defined by this area. It has this interest base. It's this. We can target it by this spend per day, reaching this many. You don't have unlimited. You can have a large budget, but we're going to use math to get to what your actual budget's going to be. And when you say that to them, because they think they're bragging about how they're unlimited, and you bring it back to reality and put math into it, their head kind of goes sideways, because they're not used to anybody saying that. They're used to everybody going, "Oh yeah, scale it up. We'll spend $1 million a day."
Either
Those are the
or
ones that are piggybacking.
yeah, they're used to people telling them, "No, you can't go over 1,000 a day with this campaign," and they're full of crap.
Yeah, yeah. I've had clients that were at $1,000 a day. Profitable CPAs, $1,000 a day, begging their Madison Avenue team of strategists to scale, and they couldn't. And they just couldn't do it. And they told them they can't do it. You don't have the right audience type, and it's not. It's just a process. You go through that process, you can scale it.
Exactly. Build an audience, advertise to that audience. Buy or die, as Steve likes to say.
Yeah, yeah. So let me if we're ready, you want me to jump into my little
Yes, everyone, give us type in rant or let's go Steve.
Whistle pig.
Hoorah,
Yeah,
whistle pig.
Type in whistle pig if you want me to just kind of go. I'm serious. I kind of the last couple of days I've been seeing a lot of ads for different things, and I'm feeling funky.
What have you seen ads for, Steve? Some gurus that piss you off?
I've seen ads from gurus, man, that they say, my two-step process to take somebody from like, $10,000 a day to $250,000 a day profit. And this idea that anybody is out there saying that Facebook advertising is as simple as they think, it's a 1 or 2 step process. Believe me, it's not. You know why? Because I've seen countless clients with bankrolls saying, "We will dump money at your feet if you can figure this out." You know what I mean? If it was as simple as just taking a winning ad, and instead of budget $100 a day, put $10,000 a day, believe me, everybody in the world would be doing it. And it's just the idea that people are paying money for courses, and they're listening to these people, these gurus, who I would really ask them, how many millions have you advertised yourself? Because if you haven't managed at least 5 million in Facebook revenue, I don't want to listen to you. You know what I mean? Because you gotta get your feet wet. You gotta manage some revenue.
Go sit back in the kiddie pool, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here are your floaties.
And that doesn't come from a place of bragging. That comes from a place of, you need to learn your mistakes. And if you haven't managed 5 million, then that means, break that down. 5 million per year, per month, per customer. Then that means you haven't taken it to the level. You haven't scaled yet, and then you haven't run into these problems. Like there's a cool scene in Iron Man where he Tony Stark flies up, and then he ices over, and then he almost crashes. And then at the end of the movie, he takes the other guy back up there, and he says, "How'd you overcome that icing problem?" The guy's like, "White icing problem." And that's like a beautiful illustration of the fact that if you haven't been here, you're not going to know what will work and what won't.
Absolutely.
So when you have been there, and then you look, and literally this 1-step this 2-step process, I mean, it really just pisses me off, because it's just not true. There's a process to it. There's a strategy. It can be learned, and it's hard work. But once you get it, you can apply it to any niche, any product. But you definitely have to have a process, and it's not a matter of just adding more money to the budget. Believe me.
I think it spells it out when you see somebody that comes from a very successful company that is now a C-level marketer in a company, and they try to take over for someone who actually knows what they're doing, and they just destroy the campaign. That really shows you that even though some people have spent time on it and they've done some stuff at lower budgets, once you really start getting in there and digging deep, man, that's not a lot of people that understand it. There just isn't, no matter how much they've been around it.
I would categorize it like this is how I'd frame it. Okay, Facebook wants to make money in ad revenue, right? Facebook does not treat everyone equally in terms of the audience. So the idea of I'll just let the pixel optimize and take care of everything is completely missing the boat. You are overspending by a mile. And the worst thing that somebody can do is have a profitable day when they let Facebook optimize, just blanket optimize and no changes or anything like that. That's the worst thing that can happen. Because when I hear that and they say, well, we were making 500 a day, I go, no, you were losing 1,500 a day because you're letting Facebook do all the work. And I will show you, I will take their ad account and I will break it down and I will show where they're missing, who they're not hitting, who they're overpaying for. And yes, it all averages out to potentially $500 profit. But if you break it out, break it apart, man, the sky's the limit because of that. Because you can start, I mean, we're talking, I mean, I go so far as like age brackets, 45 to 55-year-olds, where they live, what device they're on, what platform they're in. So, I mean, if you start looking at that detail and those numbers, you can start putting more money into somebody who's 45 years old who lives in New York City who's on an iPhone and skip the guy in Wichita on his desktop. Facebook's not going to do that for you. It's just going to kind of go to the path of least resistance. And once you start getting your mind around that, that's when you really can optimize the shit out of your campaigns.
Exactly.
So that's some good stuff. So why don't you make me a presenter or whatever? And I just want to show some, just kind of run through some stuff.
Throwing it over there.
Show my screen. I know Facebook, I'm not great at this. All right, let me know when you can see. It's just my ad manager.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, so this is just a generic ad manager, guys, but what I wanted to start off with is, I'm not going to preach from a whiteboard. Why? Because I can actually use the ad manager. That's another thing that I see with these gurus. They talk about how, all these conceptual things, but nothing has verbs in it. There's no actual method to anything. So when you're living here, when you're doing this for a living, you have to do things that work, right? And they have to work every time. Because if they don't, you start losing clients. So the very first thing that I think that people are not doing correctly is they're not taking the time to map out a funnel. They're going into this Facebook thing as it's like its own unique animal, and like everything went out the window. People love sales funnels and websites and sales funnels and emails, but when they go to Facebook, immediately it's just dumping ads to the same people all the time. So go in there, create a prospecting funnel and a retargeting funnel, right? So you find your customers, bring them to the website, convert them on the website, and if you don't convert them, you retarget them. That is just that one little step or one little process will save you tons of money and help and immediately boost your ROI. And clearly identify, okay, I'm going to prospect to these people because here's the thing, you cannot convert on Facebook. You can't take money from an ad. You need to drive them to your website. So if you need to drive them to your website, then look at it that way. Facebook prospecting, I find my audience, I drive them to the website, hopefully they convert. If they don't, I then retarget them. And I retarget them with a strategy. You can use time. Time is your friend. Think about it. If you know that somebody went to your website tomorrow, why don't you show them a specific ad? And if you showed it to them tomorrow, why can't you show them a different ad on the day after tomorrow, right? Like, why can't you time out your ads and put it in a sequence? So that way if you show them, if you showed them this awesome ad and they went to your website and they looked at your watch or your widget or whatever, but they didn't convert for whatever reason, and then the next day you show them the same exact ad, like, do you think that's going to work?
How many people have thought of that? How many people even realize that was happening?
Yeah, think of your ads funnel as a sequence. It's linear. It starts with cold funnel, right? Or prospecting. It drives them to the website, and then it goes on retargeting. And then you put the retargeting in a sequence so that after the series of 1 to 3 days, depending on what kind of product you're selling. If you're selling impulse buys, like I buy a lot of shitty t-shirts, so that's an impulse buy, so it's a really short schedule. But if you had a long thing like real estate, that could be a longer play. play with your timeline. But for the first 3 days, show them an ad. They didn't respond to it, show them something else. And you can do that with sequencing. You can just say, create an audience, website, 3-day traffic. Anybody who's been in my website within 3 days, I'm in this audience. Website, 4-day traffic. Anybody's been in the audience 4 days to, let's just actually do it. Here's the audience. You're in your your ad manager. You come in, the standard one, website 30, right? Now, if I came in here and I did custom audience, I go into website traffic, and I did, let's do 3 days. Okay. This is gonna take anybody based on your pixel who's been to your website in 3 days. So then you go website, 3 days, okay? And you save it. Now, if you have a really low website, you might have to make it 5 days or whatever, but you get the idea. Then you come in and you literally just keep building these. And you go, anybody who's been there, let's say 10 days, right? Well, think about it. If I do a 10-day, it's gonna include the 3-day, right? So I'm gonna exclude anybody who was there in 3 days. So what did I just get? 7-day window.
That's what they get. Who has who's running ads that hasn't thought about the fact that you're running that same ad to the same people over and over again and they're not converting? Who's that affecting? Because there's quite a bit of people on here right now. I'd like to see who kind of had an aha moment right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. You guys, that's another thing. When you start looking at, you got to start looking at audience overlap, right? And that's audience overlap is just which one of your audiences, like let's say the 30-day traffic is going to have some of this 3-day traffic. So if you go there and you're all excited to make 2 audiences, well, you're going to have audience overlap. You can click it here. I don't have anything built in this, but right here, show audience overlap. And you can look and it'll tell you the percentage and the number of people. So you can start excluding people and separating those audiences so that you're
There's a lot of people saying they've never thought about sequencing, and they absolutely are overlapping right now. So
yeah, and you know what? The number one thing I see people doing that's wrong is they're actually competing against themselves. Okay, they're not competing against their because don't forget, Facebook's an auction, right? There's a lot of elements that go into it, but one of them is a bid. And if you compete against yourself, you're driving up your bid. And how do you compete against yourself? You build a different ad going after the same audience. You're then competing against yourself. That's huge. And there's ways.
Who's running multiple ads to the same audience? Who's doing that right now?
I know I was guilty.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see who's running.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Different. What they're doing? They're saying, "Oh, I have an image maybe." Yeah. Yep. You are competing against yourself. You're artificially inflating your cost, and you're reducing your profit. And that's one way. Now if you scale that out, okay, on a small campaign where you're spending $100 a day, okay, you definitely, you get some overlap. You're spending $4 an hour. But if you try to spend $10,000 a day, you know what I mean? Light bulb. Yep. That's why you start blowing yourself up. That's why you can't scale.
How much money are those simple step gurus leaving on the table when they only have a few steps in their process? That's what I want to know. How much money is left on the table? How much more could have been earned?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is why. Look at this. We've been on this thing for 20 minutes or something. It's not simple, right? It's not putting a man on the moon, but there's some steps involved, right? And the first thing you want to do is just really seriously stop and figure out your funnel, your prospecting, your website, your retargeting. Figure out your audiences so that you're not overlapping. Figure out your ad sets so they're not overlapping. And then, that's when you optimize. Now we start getting into, I'm jumping around, I'm going to go into ad manager.
And Steve, before you get too far ahead, we did have a quick question. Do you have to keep creating new audience for, say, 3 days at a time goes on, or does Facebook continually update that audience on the fly?
No, here, that's a great question.
The most recent 3 days.
Yeah, when you set this up the right way to begin with, Facebook's automatically going to populate this 3-day website. Every time I put my mouse over it, it makes the thing, but it's going to populate it. So what's going to happen is people are going to drop off. So sometimes you don't have to change your creative, right? A lot of times people say, oh, I got to change my creative 100 times because it's not working. Well, if you have it working the right way, then the only people who are going to see it are the 3-day window. And if they went back to your website, then that means that they get right back into the funnel. You know, and that's the goal. If they don't convert, you take them at 7-day window, you put them back into the website, they click, they start going back into the funnel.
Had an aha moment. There's a comment.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah, it's huge a few times.
Yeah, and then you also, the benefit of this versus every time you change, you know, people understand this, every time you change your creative, you lose all your social credibility, the likes, the shares, the comments. When you do this, you can leave that ad running for months if it's still performing.
Social
right now, there's you know, there's something to be said about A/B testing, right? So I'm not saying that we take just any ad, but once we found proven winner, you can just change the audience, leave the ad, keep the 700, 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 likes, shares, and comments, and just move the audience around using the same ad. You know, so there's that. That's a big. But you ever see an ad that has like 3,000 likes on it, and you're like, how the hell did this thing get 3,000 likes? You know, I mean, it doesn't happen too much, but there's a way to manipulate that. You can artificially inflate that in the sense that you could kind of hack the system and make it work for your benefit.
I know some people have had some fun with that since you showed them that. So
Yeah, that's hold on, I can hear my kids crying in the background. That's something where you can copy. What you end up doing is you just copy the page post ID. You know, so in people, when you look at an ad has an ad ID, but it also is actually just a page post. So when you think about it, where did ads used to start? They were called dark posts, right? Because they were posts from your page, but they didn't go to your fan page. That's why they got the name dark post. So a way that people can manipulate that is you can copy the page post ID of any running ad, and you can run it to a different audience or a different objective or a different segment, and just keep continually in parallel having 5 ads running, all the same exact ad targeting different audiences with different objectives at different points, but each time somebody likes any one of them, they like them all. And you start doing that, and you start really cooking. You know, you
there's
really
a rabbit hole question right here that I don't know if you want to get into, but I'll read it. It's opinion on standard ad versus a lead ad. That's kind of a loaded question, isn't it? Since of all the ad types.
Yeah, I mean, that would go into. Yeah, that would go with lead ads are awesome. Lead ads came out last April, basically. Last January, really hit the scene last April. You know, what they are is you immediately capture the information direct on Facebook. You don't go from a website. You just literally do it. I do a lot of it. Car dealers love it. Life insurance, all those kind of niches that just want to get emails. You can literally show an ad, have the person never leave Facebook, take them to a screen, takes over their whole entire screen, and it says, you have a little blurb, you have some contact information. It auto-populates their information for them, so the accuracy is there. First name, last name, city, location, phone number, email. And then they hit submit, and boom, you instantly get it.
Everyone think that could work to get leads for your agencies? Anyone in here running agencies? Think you could use that?
Yeah, no longer are they going to you're not taking somebody to a page, a landing page, and hope they convert. They're literally in Facebook 3 clicks away. You can use the phrase in as little as 3 clicks, you know, get your quote. So I mean, lead ads are awesome.
There's a lot there that can be done with that, and I think that we'll be exploring a lot of that in 2018.
Yeah, we're just cracking the surface on the lead ads. I mean, you know, my background is I have a non-compete in the auto industry. For the last year and a half or so, I've been going crazy in auto and lead ads. I mean, we're talking 600, 700 leads a month for dealers. So I mean, there's massive potential with lead ads because they're not relying on the person converting, going to the web page. You know, I mean, that's another thing. You look at your ads, and you know, people talk about clicks, right? There's a sequence and a hierarchy when it comes to Facebook in terms of reporting. So if I'm looking at clicks mean any interaction with the ad at all. If they look at the comments, that's a click. So I'm just going to come over here in performance and clicks. So where's my little scrolly bar? Hold on. Anytime somebody clicks on it, well, I wonder if it's because I'm on live, I can't see it. So anytime somebody clicks on something, so can I get a click here? Well, hold on, I'll do customized columns. So anytime somebody clicks, right? So there's the difference. A click is number of clicks in your ad, anything, right? So you should never talk clicks. Anybody who's talking clicks doesn't know what they're talking about, because that just means somebody interacted with your ad. So you want to be talking at the very minimum.
Is there anybody reporting wrong based on that knowledge that you're reporting clicks to people and not realizing that you're really reporting everything.
Anybody out there ever get anybody out there get the customer say, wow, Google Analytics shows way less traffic than your Facebook.
There's a bunch of people saying, yeah, that's happening to them.
Yeah, because this is just clicks. Any interaction with your ad. This is the number of clicks to an ad outbound. You know what I mean? Link clicks. That's the very least. So you can actually here's the default. These are the default windows for performance. These are all junk. I never use these. You go and you customize these columns, and you start going. I don't care about the schedule and the ends. I want to do link clicks. You know what I mean? So you come in here and you start doing reporting on link clicks. You start reporting. The next thing up is landing page views, right? So let's put this in the hierarchy of, we'll start from useless to actually worth something. Useless is clicks. Okay, I don't care about likes and smileys and stuff. I want people to go to the website. Link clicks, okay. Somebody clicked, they went off to the website. It does not mean they saw the website or the landing page. It just means they clicked. Could have bad internet, could have a slow feed, could have whatever. Landing page views. This is the only thing I ever talk about now. I never talk about link clicks now. Landing page views are the people that they viewed the destination. Okay, that is huge. And you start showing this reporting, and you hit, you just hit apply, and it'll show up right here. You'll start seeing 1,000 link clicks, but only 800 landing page views, or 1,000 link clicks and only 600 landing page views. You're going to start seeing all the traffic drop. I mean, that is an eye opener. And you're going to start looking at, well, maybe there's something wrong with their website, or it's mobile, or it's desktop, or whatever.
That's where start to tie in with SEO for all of you out there doing both. There's a lot of crossover here that can help you with your campaigns. Yeah. So keep that in mind as we.
Yeah. I actually think, just kind of rattling again. I am not running one single traffic ad for a customer I have. Not one single traffic ad. You know why? Because I don't care about how many clicks I get. I care about how many landing pages I get. Okay? I think the traffic ad is dead. There's absolutely no reason to do a traffic ad anymore. What you should be doing is immediately going into a conversion ad with the optimization of page views. So that means that Facebook, if you put it, remember, when you put an objective, you're telling Facebook, I want people to do this. Okay, you tell them you want a traffic ad. I want them to click the ad. I want them to click off of Facebook. Okay, now if you're targeting anybody over 55 years old, they're the most clicky age group in the world. They click everything. Doesn't mean they go to the website. It's like the click. So I don't want to tell Facebook I like people who press buttons. I want to tell Facebook I want people who look at websites, who actually click and look at it and go to it. And you start optimizing, and what you're going to find is you're going to find out that people who clicked here, aren't necessarily people who went to the website.
Also, Steve, a few questions about how they're tracking that. Is it recorded through the pixel, or does Facebook do it somehow else? Does the landing page view count views?
It reports back through when you build it, you build a page view conversion on your pixel, so it only fires. It only fires when somebody looks at it.
Okay. Now, how about if they go to it not through Facebook?
If they go through it not through Facebook, Facebook will still capture it. If they have a Facebook account, Facebook will capture it, but it will not report against any of your ads unless they've seen your ad, impression, or click.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? When you go into Pixel, there's no Pixel loaded on this account, I don't think, under this one. There might be. Let's just see. So keep that in mind, and that's kind of there's no Pixel here. Yeah, that's kind of important. Okay. Facebook will track anybody against a website, but it'll only attribute it to an ad if they saw your ad or they clicked your ad. Does that make sense, everybody? You can also, we start getting into this, you can also manipulate the duration, right? The standard duration for Facebook ad attribution, the standard is 1-day view, 28-day click. So that means if I have an ad right here that says, Lambo Facebook ads, and somebody clicks on it 28 days, it'll show up as a link click. If they see the ad and they click, like let's say they manually type the URL, like let's say they look at it on their phone, but they type onto it on their website, within 24-hour period, I'll get an attribution here. Now that's not really important for clicks, but it is when you start talking about sales, right? When you start talking about attributable sales, that starts getting into it. So you can actually go in and you can tell Facebook, no, I want them, if they've seen the ad in the last 7 days and purchased, I want credit for it.
Exactly. And that's very important if your client is tracking your conversions, because that can greatly influence.
Yeah, we had somebody I know had an instance where they signed a new customer. They built it's a little bit off topic, but they built like what's called an offline event, and they ran their ads for about 3 weeks. They got no conversions, no sales, and then they uploaded the customer the customer's sold list. So the customer said, hey, here are the people who bought something from us. They uploaded that, and because of the way we had the account set up through attribution and offline, they were able to find 15 sales. So 15 sales were not going to be shown under the standard attribution, but because of the way we had the account set up, we actually got visibility of those 15 sales.
That's the difference between getting fired and looking like a god, to be honest.
This guy, you know why? They spent $892, and each sale was worth $1,000 net.
Insane.
It's a huge difference right there. And if you're doing SEO, if you're doing Facebook and you're not tracking conversion properly, you are setting yourself up for that conversation saying, hey, we don't think you're doing a damn thing. Bye-bye. You really need to have that tracking and that attribution correct, or else you're going to do yourself without money.
It's something right here. I mean, you can change it right here. Now, if it's a customer's account, you can't. But I mean, it's this kind of stuff. It's the proper setup of your account. That is why I get disgusted when somebody says it's a simple 2-step process, because it's not. I mean, this is the standard setup right here. You know what I mean? This means that if somebody looked at if they saw your ad yesterday, 26 hours ago, and then we're like, oh shit, I wanted to get those razors or whatever, and they type in the URL or something, or they look at it at their work computer, you're not gonna get the sale. Not only are you not gonna get the sale, you're not gonna be able to have Facebook learn. Facebook's not going to get that sale in their pixel and start optimizing for it. You can't make an audience off of it. You can't exclude them. You know, that's another thing. We didn't even get into who I saw that. Who saw that? This is my demo account. Yeah, Sally Moore. I think that's Moore is what I think I'd call it.
Sally Moore.
I could add Mike right here.
You should add me. I should be added to everybody's business.
But I mean, so that's just one setting. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just like one little piece. But again, I think it goes beyond the fact of a nice little simple, oh, you just plug and play. Oh, you just build an ad. Make sure you have the right picture, right? I mean, we've been talking for 35 minutes. I haven't mentioned images once. You know what?
Does everyone know why they oversimplify it like that?
Who has an idea of why people oversimplify?
I can tell you right now. Why, if you're a guru, why would you oversimplify it in your ads?
Because they are guru and don't know shit.
Keep it secret. Yeah, all those are good answers. My answer, the reason why I would do it is to sell more product, because that's the only way they're making money. They're not making money doing the stuff like Steve is. They're not making the money doing the stuff like Mike is. They're not making the money doing the stuff like I am.
Like Brad is.
Yeah, they're making the money selling the courses. You know, that's just be careful.
Yeah, the real Facebook guys don't have time. They don't. I mean, I've been running Facebook ads for 4 years. You know, I just met Brad and Mike a few months ago. We hit it off, done a lot of stuff, made a lot of money. But I mean, I've never thought of doing this stuff. You know, showing people anything. I'm not a guru.
You know, what happened is we realized, and this is, I'll just touch on it very quickly, is that there's a lot of Facebook people out there trying to capitalize on what we do with SEO, and I'm done with that. It's time for me to make that money that I'm actually generating the crap for, not some other agency, and that's over. They're not getting my money anymore.
Yeah. We decided to take everything in our agency in-house and have 3 pillars: 2 PPC pillars and 1 SEO pillar, and then we take everything digital marketing.
Yeah, the genesis for that, or the what way we found that out is we have a mutual client, and you know, I went in there, and Mike and Brad have been killing it on SEO, and I went into the Facebook side of things, and I go, all they're doing is going after previous web traffic. So you might, if there's SEO guys out there, and you're running successful SEOs, you're driving a lot of organic traffic, and the person has a Facebook account and, you know, an agency or whatever, and they're driving ads, I bet you dollars to donuts, all they're doing is living off of this right here.
You're living off of you.
Your hard-earned work, and I'm just living off. Yeah, I'm not going out and creating anything new. I'm just retargeting. You know, I mean, that was a big eye opener when we started looking at that.
So who should they be able to do that? Should they be taking your money like that?
Yeah, they're taking what could be your money or what
should
be your money,
and you get 15% of it. You know, don't forget, there's a lot. You know,
a lot of money.
What's the stat, Brad? $9 billion in Q2 of ad revenue.
What's 15% of that?
9 billion, and it went up. You know, and it went up 50% over last year. So next year it's going to go up even more. There's just a massive amount, and literally, you guys who are in the SEO world, I mean, you can start taking SEO clients and saying, you know, I can run your Facebook. You know what I mean? There's this world out there that people can get into, but you're not going to be able to get into it with this simple one-step process. That's what drives me nuts.
Yeah, there's a whole process that Steve uses when it comes to running ads on his business manager versus a client business manager, and he's been going into that with the traffic takeover guys, and there definitely is a very systemized way to do that. Unfortunately, I can't see whose names who are asking the question tonight. Everyone is friend. It decided to give us friend instead of people's names. So you're all friend tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely a strategy there.
Just a quick note, though, you want to own the account if you ever can. Just like with SEO, you want to own the properties if you can, because then you hold the power. So
yeah, and you know what you can do? If there was an ad running right here, there's a little button that's called pause ad. You know what I mean? That's a powerful thing.
Traffic. That's what we do in our SEO campaigns now. If they stop paying, we go in, one click of a button, we turn off all their traffic. That's why I like selling traffic from SEO better than actually selling SEO now. Because it's much easier to sell and it's much easier to cut off. Because you sell it the same way you do PPC, you know?
Yep. And the control that you get with Facebook and traffic is much more granular than what you can do with SEO.
Yeah, because you're targeting on interest and patterns, and I mean, we didn't even get into. You can get third-party data. You can start getting Experian credit. You can get Visa loaded into your account. You can get all these third-party data. Facebook has about 600 standard custom interests that you looked at and people use when they say interest targeting. Well, there's about 30,000 that are available, but they literally like stifle it and put a muzzle on it because they think it's way too much as it is. Because in the hierarchy of the world, interest targeting is the worst. It's horrible. You know what I mean? If you ever look at your actual interest target, it says you can like grass and stuff. So I immediately get off of that, and I get onto other different things.
There's a question, when you say it's an asset, is it short-lived? How long can you keep a customer in the pixel?
180 days. Facebook pixel goes back 180 days. That's the
Think about what's happening if you're running an SEO campaign for somebody. It's continuing to increase in traffic if you're doing your job. It's continuing to become larger. The audience is growing, and you're leaving it on the table for someone else to collect the commission off of the spend that is made based on the audience you built.
How many new people do we add to that pixel that we've got going for that one client right now?
Every day is about 12,000, 13,000 new people.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
It's definitely an asset.
Yeah, and you also, another thing you do is if you start, you take advantage of Facebook's power and you have this 30-day traffic, well then you come in here and you make a lookalike. And you start making lookalike off that 30-day traffic. And then you want to get really advanced, you start making 3 lookalike traffics. And then you start excluding, right? So what people do is they'll go in and they'll make a 3% lookalike audience. Well, what did they just do? They went 0, 1, 2, 3. So they never hit this little advance button. They do this, and they go 3%. And what did they just do? 2, 1, 2. So they're going to show this to the same audience. They're going to get audience overlap. So if you just click this little button right here, boom, now you can go 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. And you have 3 separate audiences here that you can then run an ad to, A/B test it or whatever, and then not be tripping over each other.
Everyone write that down if you can.
Yeah, you absolutely got to write that down, right? When you make a lookalike audience, I mean, you can go all the way up to 6 if you want. But see how this look? It's 0. It's not overlapping. If I get rid of this and I go to 6, this is going to be, if I go to, usually like 4 is I think like 10 million people. So I'm going to get a 10 million person audience, but I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. My overlap is going to be completely complete there. So you just click this one little button.
Just blah.
Yeah.
It's huge
little stuff.
differences. Huge
Little stuff.
Huge things, tiny things that make huge differences is what it is.
Yeah, that's massive.
Devils in details when it comes to Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, you start doing that. I mean, you come in to create audiences. All we did, I just went into website traffic. You start going into, engagement, right? Here's another one that I love.
What's the best thing to base it off of, Steve?
What's the best thing to base it off?
I'll ask the audience. What's the best way to build a lookalike audience? What's the best thing to build it off of? I learned this from Steve.
Spit it out, audience.
There we go.
Do do do
Do do do do.
There we go.
Guess?
The first one got it. So
do do. Got it.
Yeah, when it comes to Facebook audiences, more is not better. I would rather have 100 purchases than 1,000 visits. You know what I'm saying? More is not better. Better is better.
Yep. And
so
first thing, grab their customer email list, upload it to Facebook. Huge.
Yep. You come in here, customer audience, customer file. You can integrate with MailChimp, which is awesome. You can even do, now they have lifetime value, which my customers love. Because here's what I do. I go to Mr. Client, I go, do you have a subscription-based product? They go, yep. And I go, okay. Well, instead of me just uploading a customer as an individual entity, and then I can just find one customer, I'm gonna weight the people who are 8-month subscribers more heavy than the people who are 1-month single purchases. And Facebook will do that for you. This is new. This is loaned lifetime value. So you start doing that kind of stuff. You can get a weighted average. So people who are more frequent, if it's just e-commerce or something, but somebody who has more, or say your life insurance and they buy 4 different products from you, you can start bundling it. Again, more is not better, better is better. And then you click in this thing, you start going through, and you can do a CV
Brad,
file.
do you have audio?
You don't have audio?
Mm-hmm. I do. Yep, we're good.
And you go into that. So I mean, that's just another, that's part of the process there too. And then you can build a lookalike audience off of those customers, because the people actually purchased. And then what? Another thing that's awesome that people aren't doing, when they're building ads. Let me just show you guys something real quick while I keep going into this little rant that I have. I'm building an ad, right? I'm in Power Editor. I don't have any payment here, but this is just a temporary thing. I'm going to come in. Actually, I think I did it for this one. I'm going to click on this campaign. I'm going to edit it, right? So this is the objective. I'm going to just go to the ad set just to show you guys. So what I wanted to show you is down here, the most underutilized thing in the world is exclusions. People love adding interests. People never exclude. So when would you exclude? If you're doing cold funnel, right? You're doing prospects, you should exclude your it's up, actually it's up here. You would exclude your website traffic, right? So then if I exclude website traffic, that means that I'm only showing this ad to brand new people, right? Now that's huge if you guys understand that, because if you don't, then you're going to be showing it to people who've already been to your website. And that's not the point of cold funnel, is it? That's retargeting. So again, you're going to overlap. You're going to be stumbling off yourself. If you're showing I don't have it in here, but if you were doing a retargeting, you would exclude purchasers. So that way, here's an example I have. I bought a Bowflex. I went on the Bowflex website. I'm kind of chubby. I went on, and I purchased it, and I saw a Facebook ad, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I got a Facebook ad from Bowflex. Well, for the next 30 days, I kept getting Facebook ads. So they were paying to show me an ad when all they had to do was exclude purchasers, and they wouldn't be paying for me anymore.
How much money do you think you could save Bowflex if you went in and fixed that?
Oh my God, I probably could save them. At the scale they're at, they could probably save, because you pay per impression with Facebook. They don't care what people do with your ad. But if they show it to somebody, ding, 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 they charge you for it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be paying for things that it's not going to work. So I'm not going to buy two Bowflex. So you really should be, they should exclude.
I really was expecting a damn Christmas present, dude. We were supposed to buy
I'm looking right at it. I put it in my office with a big TV to motivate me, and I'm
how's that going?
How many hangers do you have on it at the moment?
Yeah, that's what my bike desk does.
I actually do have a couple Christmas bags on. It's pretty funny, but
my bike desk holds my laundry now.
This again, simple. We're talking, simple two-step Facebook. What's two-step? Going in, adding an interest, running an ad. Okay, you didn't exclude anybody, right? Here's another one. Everyone in this location. So if you're visiting from UK, I'm going to show you a real estate ad? No. I want people who live in this location.
That's another step, Steve. I thought it was only 2 or 3.
Yeah. I mean, come on, age
My
groups.
caveman brain can't go past 2 or 3 steps, so you better slow down.
Yeah, exclusions, right? 18-year-old, unless you're selling, Madden games. Really? Is 18 really? I love it when they say, "Oh, I make it as broad as
spenders."
Yeah, they say, "Oh, I make it as broad as possible." One of the first things I do when I go to an existing ad account is I go into their breakdown. I do this live with the customer. I say, "Let's just take a look at your ads." And we go in, and there's no ads loaded, so it's going to go to this generic screen. But I go in and I see this big ad with a ton of spend, and they're all excited about it. And I do this little button. I go breakdown, delivery, age, right? Now, if there were ads here, it would break down all the ages. And I go, that's funny. You spent $3,000 on 18 to 24-year-olds with no purchases. And they go, what? And they're like, we sell geriatric knee products. Why are we advertising to 18-year-olds?
Like,
I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. It's pretty funny. I mean, and look at it. You can go age, gender. I mean, why are we not splitting by gender? Right? Different messages. People get emotionally responsive to products, so why not show them a different message? And you can by gender, by location, but what device they're on, iPhone, Android, desktop. Why can you not split it up?
And when you break that data down for me, Steve, when I see the difference in devices, there's people missing out on so much when they don't get devices.
This takes us back to about, if you rewind this thing to about 35 minutes ago, Facebook is not an equal opportunity place. Facebook is not going to show your ad to 200 people on the iPhone and 200 people on the Android and 200 people on desktop. It's not going to work that way. You start looking at your ads, I guarantee it, you're going to see 800 people on the iPhone at $2 conversion, and then you're going to see 2,000 people on the desktop for a $30 conversion. And it all averages out because Facebook averages everything, and that's when people start missing out. So you know what you do? You tell Facebook where you want to show it. Don't, build an ad and just say, just show this to iPhone people. Just show this, literally, show it to iPhone people on desktop who live in LA, who are 31 years old, who are women. I mean, why are we not doing
that? WhistlePig.
Who love WhistlePig, add an interest to it. Who recently went to the website because I tracked it by a pixel. Who haven't purchased because I did an exclusion. I mean, that's where the simple 1-2 step is really missing out.
We're getting close to time, and I don't know, Brad, do we want to go over a little bit of the SEO tonight? We might have to cut Steve off, even though I don't know if he even touched the top of all of it.
This is just like basic. This is like, this is what I think the guru should be telling you guys about.
How many people have learned something tonight from Steve?
Just give us a hell yes or a WhistlePig or a
monkey. Learn one thing.
Hell yes, yes sir. Hell yeah, yes, yes. Hell yes with Exclamation whistle pig.
Yeah, whistle pig, love
Gosh
it.
darn it.
Holy heck
Nikes.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a few people learn from you.
Bill.
Yeah.
Pork whistler stuff.
I,
Damn Skippy.
I wish there were a way to learn more from you, Steve, but maybe maybe there's a way. I don't know.
Sally is the best.
So guys, ladies, gents, who in here is selling traffic from SEO? Not your typical rank and rent, not your typical PPL, not your typical agency. I'll rank your site. How many people in here are making money from just straight traffic from SEO? Kind of the same thing as affiliate, but not a ton. Why is traffic better than PPL? Because it can be a guaranteed payday if you get the right client. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come up with a strategy lately, which will probably go over in the future, but I just want to get this in everyone's head because it ties into really closely to Facebook, because when Steve has access to an account, he has all the power. You know, with SEO, we don't really have a ton of power. We can increase their income through organic search by 1,000% over 6 months, and they can still kind of say, well, you didn't really do your job. But when you're just sending them traffic and they're getting leads from that, you can package up that traffic and you could sell it. And if they stop paying at any point, one click of a button, you click it off. Does that sound good? Does that sound like you could make some money with that?
I know I do.
I'll tell you that is the number one money maker for myself, and I'm pretty sure Mike at the moment.
Yep.
You can get clients to pay you $50,000 a month and be happy about it. You can get clients to say they want to pay. They were drooling today, right before we hopped on this webinar, and this is stuff that's happening right now.
Call, man.
In the moment. Like, we're not. This isn't 6 months ago. This was today. They said, we will give you $1 million a month if you do what you.
It was beautiful.
I said, if you give me $1 million a month, I'll do whatever the hell it takes for you to keep giving me that $1 million a month.
Whatever the hell.
But it's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. That was something where I said, whoa, let's slow down and start a little bit slower than that.
Yeah.
Let's go and step into this and make sure that it makes sense for everybody while we move forward.
Let's go to 900,000 a month.
And you know why they said we'll give you $1 million a month? It's because they know they could make off that $1 million a month $12 million a month, or even more. That 12 is probably low. So
it's no brainer.
I want
and you get the people that look at it and say, well, why don't you just sell us the leads? Well, there's answers for that make sense for a business, and it just solves those problems. And the system is really coming together with Facebook and traffic right now. It's just beautiful.
It's really much easier for them to understand, and it's easier for me to do because I know all I've got to do is build the sites, and they're done. I don't have to worry about tracking. I don't have to worry about arguing with them over leads. I build the sites. Is the traffic there that I promised? Okay, F you, pay me. And that's it.
F you, pay me.
F you, pay me. So, do you think we should share the surprise that we had right now, Mike? Or Mike?
Yeah, we can.
All right. How many of you would like to learn how to use that or build that skill and really go out there and sell it? Would that help you out? Add a little bit to the bottom line.
Add a little cha-ching in your cha-ching.
And how many? Yeah, I took the screen. How many people in here would like to learn from Steve on a bi-monthly basis and have webinars like this where he's even more full throttle? I know it's hard to imagine.
Tonight it was we couldn't let Steve get deep into it. There's just not enough time. I mean, there is so freaking much that I have learned over the last year from him that blows me away that has taken even our SEO to different levels and made us think different about the way we run our campaigns that have gotten us to the point where people are talking about 7-figure months and things like that. I mean, it's insane.
A few people are commenting about what the number on the screen. You know what this number is? It's the amount of money that is out there and billable on Facebook every quarter. This is 9 billion times 0.15. That's the standard management fee. If it's a huge client and they're already giving you like 100 grand a month in management fees, maybe you can drop that down to 10. If there's a really small client, maybe you can up that to 20%. But on average, and I know a vast majority of Steve's clients are on a 15% management fee. And do you know why they pay that 15% management fee? Because he saves them way more than that a month.
Oh yeah, they're crushing it.
This is $1,350,000,000 a month on the table each and every month if you add Facebook to your ad agency.
Do you know how quick a company like Bowflex will want to give you money if you can save them the type of money Steve mentioned by just excluding certain people?
And
I mean,
if you can save that amount of money and then put that back into the campaign and you're actually using it to acquire new people, it's game over. Like they would probably, like, you could probably charge way more than 50% given your skill level,
absolutely.
right? Absolutely. It's just hard to get them to sign on the dotted line for a 50% management fee, even though they're going to save way more than that or make way more than that. But anyway.
The other thing too is if you take this stuff, these tactics are working at $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a month spend. You put that into a smaller company that maybe you're an SEO company that you have right now, and you put those same tactics, it's going to explode. I mean, literally 2 weeks I've seen people come in and make that ROI, $892 ad spend. They made $15,000. Why? To set up their account right.
Exactly.
Almost like they knew what they were doing.
And that was someone that you trained, right, Steve?
Absolutely. Yep.
Exactly.
Didn't know he got his first client before he even knew what he was doing. I told him what to say. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was pretty funny. But he did it.
He could be a CGO then.
Those who can do, those who can't are CGOs.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like, everyone, if you have time, go to webtraffictakeover.com. We just opened up.
That's pretty Brad.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I need to shave. I know, but I needed a video. Steve didn't want to do it. But I've actually talked Steve into it, and the only reason I was able to talk him into it is because he did the live event with us. He saw what good he could do, and he's agreed. I think you're doing 2 webinars a month right now, Steve, right?
Yeah, we're doing 2 webinars.
There was an amazing comment thrown at you at the beginning of the webinar, Steve, that I wanted to read. It said, I picked up, it was over thousands of likes this week at 2 cents a piece for $1.99 just by what you showed them over just a quick little conversation.
Yeah, we do. We got some.
We're very happy.
We have some fun stuff on that because now this, this is a broadcast, right? I mean, I can't show you guys the goodies. I mean, this is just table scraps, really. We're just covering the basics. But when we start looking at it where it's a closed group and we're all interacting, I'm right there. I show you the real nitty gritty stuff, the stuff that I'm working on. I'll tape it on a Thursday and I'm doing it on Tuesday. I mean, it's real stuff. And, the interaction, you guys ask questions, I answer them. It's actually really fun. I like it.
Also, from a learning perspective, I mean, an hour a month on these webinars with this many people on, it's hard to cover everyone, right? Or it's hard to cover everything that comes up with this, with private Skype access, with 2 webinars a month, with a much smaller group. It's a lot easier to get to all the questions that everyone
It really
has.
is. And what I want to see is a repeat of 2017. Over the last few weeks, I've had a lot of people that have been kind of following along and doing the kind of same stuff that we're doing, Steve's doing, telling me how wonderful their year has been. And I want to see more of that this freaking coming year. I want to see more freaking agencies blow up, more PPO blow up. I just want to see everyone just kill it.
Yeah, I love it. I was so excited when he mentioned that, using a couple techniques in 2 weeks, it was down in the dumps, didn't get any conversions. And we started looking at stuff, and I said, well, hold on a minute. You did it the right way. You set up offline. We went through it. He pulled it out. He showed it. His customer flipped. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Exactly.
Doubled his spend.
Yeah, you have to love that. I mean, it feels so damn good when you see someone be able to do that and have those types of win for everybody involved.
Yep.
So what we're going to be covering every month is the 2 webinars with Steve. Mike and I will have an SEO / make as much freaking money as you can online, setting up your contracts the right way. That makes it easier on you and easier for the client to understand. Closing strategies, all that good stuff. We're going to be going over that every month. Traffic generation, like I said, is the #1 way that I've ever been able to make money online. I don't really do Facebook ads like Steve. I have Steve run my Facebook ads for me. I'd rather pay him. But will you be teaching how to build the site in depth? Yes, we do. Yep. Yes, we do.
We've had campaigns recently where there's been 800%, 900, 1,000% growth just by properly optimizing sites just on page. I mean, we'll get into everything. I mean, that's what it's all about, is being able to come in and as cost efficiently as possible, get people to extreme amounts of revenue increase and return on what they are for you. You want your CPAs low, you want their return high, and you want to just kill it for them.
If you're going into a client meeting, I want you to have such a high level of confidence that it is a disservice not to close them. When you get to that level of confidence, and you will with this, if you follow what we do, if you follow in the group, if you ask questions, you'll be able to go into a client meeting and say, I can do this, this, and this for you. Well, can you do this? Hell yes, I can do that with bells on, whatever you want to say. But you can go in there with complete and utter confidence, and you can close them. And if you don't close them, you know that they are missing out. And obviously, you need to find a better way to portray how good of an opportunity it is for them to sign you. And that's when you can start making the real money. When that clicked for me, that's when I could start making a living with it.
There was a question. Facebook, yes, Facebook is 2 times a month, and SEO is once a month. It's not all crammed together, but also the Skype group is 24/7.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth on that. Good questions, and I love it because people ask a question, and I always say, answer in the Skype group, because if you ask it, 10 other people ask it. So we're going over things like how to set it up for agency, how to contact support, how to do pixels, how to everything. We just, it's no holds barred. Open up questions specific to their customers.
We're going to get into the type of insurance and things you need for your companies when you're working with certain types of companies. So when it comes down to like running traffic to a lead website or their company website, we'll be talking about which situations you should be doing what in. I mean, that's the kind of thing. It really all depends on being fluid with what is needed for the person you're talking to. And we've got special guests up there. There's some pretty, we're lucky to be around some pretty badass people that are going to be able to share some pretty amazing things as well. And yes, this is NDA type stuff. If you are in the community, you are part of the community, and you are not talking about this outside of the community with other people, because this needs to stay with us as a family, and we need to make money together and help each other make money.
And to be honest, the biggest thing is you're going to have the course material in there. You're going to have the over-the-shoulder videos. But in light of that, the biggest thing is having Steve, Mike, and myself there to answer questions as you go along. So you can go into those meetings with confidence that you can come back to us and say, oh, I just signed this client for 10, 15, 20,000 a month. What the hell do I do now? Okay, calm down. We'll figure it out. And we look at it. We come up with a plan. Exactly. Take a shot, calm down, and let's do this. And then you just knock it out of the park for them, and they'll be begging you to spend more money. How can we expand this campaign? Which is another thing that you need to set up in your proposals, is the opportunity for expansion. Because then you don't hit a wall 6 months in. You can keep expanding the campaign or contract it if they need to, but they typically want to expand the campaign. And you set them up for that in the beginning. If you're half as successful as virtually all of our clients, you're going to be begging us to do more SEO to your site and make you even more money. That's just part of the closing process. So,
and that's what, we want to share is that the last year, everyone just wants to keep going. They come back and they want to do more projects. And I want everyone to find those types of clientele where they just keep coming back because you're just killing it for them and they want to make more money with you.
once you get one or two, you can turn that into 10, 20, 30 at that point.
Yeah, because then you start using the, you can start using the proof, you can start using the numbers, you can start using screenshots. I mean, obviously, blending with customers and taking into account NDAs and all that kind of stuff. But at least you have the metrics, right? And you can go in there and you start talking about it.
It's wonderful.
Exactly. So, tonight, we're not really gonna sell you on it hard. If you see the value in Steve, if you see the value in the traffic stuff, if you see the value, we still do SEO. If you see the value in the SEO knowledge, but honestly, we've got that down to a science. It's pretty easy. It's just breaks down to the basics, and if you follow the basics, you've got it. You've got it down. You follow the on-page blueprint. You follow the linking diagrams, and you shouldn't have any trouble with that stuff. So.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with any of the type of SEO at all.
So at that point, it becomes how to scale your agency, how to continually expand, how to keep shoving more clients into your pipeline, how to keep closing those clients, how to keep delivering for those clients easily. We might have to actually hire someone, Mike, if we get that $1 million a month gig.
No, there's going to be a lot of growth that's going to have to happen, and it's going to go crazy. I'm looking forward to it, and just everything that, I've been doing this since 2001. Steve's been doing Facebook for 5 years, 4 years. Brad's been doing this for quite some time. I'm thinking, are you going on 10 years now, Brad, or what?
I'm really close. 2008 is when I got started.
Yeah, and you just, if you need there's just things that you learn over time dealing with different types of company that, you have to make the mistakes first, and that's what we want to make sure that if you haven't made the mistakes yet, hopefully we can help you not have to make the mistakes. Is another part of it as well. So
Mike, there's a really good question that came in. What if we only do affiliate? Will this help? I helped someone that was a student of ours. She did the traffic methods, and now, and I guess I don't want to share her niche, but she's pulling in $2,000 a month from just one campaign. If you do that and then you keep adding it on and scale the way we show, you could turn that into as much as you want. So yes, works very well with affiliate. Some affiliate programs work better than others, but we're gonna with this type of stuff, but we're gonna get you into those. And at that point, I can sit down, pen and paper, and do some third grade math and figure out if I do this, this, and this, I'll add approximately this much to my bottom line in a year. So if I want to add 10 times that to my bottom line, guess what I have to do? I have to do it 10 times. That's it. That's it. I'm simple-minded, so I try and keep things simple so I can move as fast as possible. And if you do that, keep it simple and focus on scaling, you can make more money than you're making now. Whatever you're making now, you should be able to make more money with it.
Absolutely.
Any questions about web traffic takeover? What we'll be going over? Any of that stuff.
What color is the background?
On that affiliate question, I was able to get an affiliate only to start doing basically an agency, because the way that we lay it out, it just makes the agency that much easier to run. So it becomes an option for people that are affiliate minded, because you really can turn it into something that is a pretty smooth and easy revenue stream for you. And especially with the Facebook stuff on top of it, adding revenue to it, it's pretty awesome to see. In addition to the monthly webinars, can you describe what the training is like in the membership area?
It's everything we use to rank. It's the type of traffic methods that we do. Steve's got some basic Facebook stuff in there. He's going to, this is what I'm excited about. And to be honest, this is why I wanted to team up with Steve on this so I could learn it. I created the type of Facebook course that I would want and that would help me the most. So what Steve's going to be doing is launching a complete over-the-shoulder program on how he would market Web Traffic Takeover. And keep in mind, he's a part of Web Traffic Takeover, so you're going to be getting the absolute best stuff. It's going to be his own properties. It's not going to be a campaign from a year ago. It's going to be continually updated. That's the kind of stuff that Steve's going to add. We're going to be going over SEO tactics. We're going to be going over traffic generation. We're going to be going over how to set up an SEO and traffic agency that you can just destroy. A huge opportunity just opened, and that is the niche that Mike and I were just on the meeting with, and it worked out perfectly. It worked out just like we wanted because we were watching the industry. We heard what happened, and we went after it hard because we knew people had a huge pain point. And funnels. Funnels I'm going to get into heavily too. Getting clients with your funnels, generating client leads with Facebook like Steve does, what kind of lead cap you should send them to, what kind of follow-up you should do, all that type of stuff. So it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about making the green stuff, but there are some steps in between there. You can't just buy this and, make the green stuff. You got to put in the work. But once you do and everything clicks, then it becomes a lot easier. Yeah, he'll have Corey. I'm going to have to do some arm bending, but I'll get him on to talk about some stuff. He's always got some.
No, absolutely. And I've already been talking to Angel as well. So Corey and Angel, we're breaking arms to get him on there to really kind of push out what's needed for people to really run smooth.
Yeah, the pain point wasn't SSL. It was industry specific, and we knew what kind of industry to go after based on something that recently happened. Yeah, with Corey, I've seen him really scale an agency lately, and he's going to be, I think we're going to be able to get him on and talk a lot about that, how he's able to just pump them out. He's closing at least 1 or 2 new clients a day, sometimes 4 or 5. So he's just cranking it out. It's amazing.
Oh, and he actually made some tweaks, dude. I don't know if you talked to him today, but there were some amazing tweaks, and the numbers on some campaigns for
awesome.
like lead gen just dropped exponentially like 5 times, dude.
Nice. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
It's been amazing. Awesome. That's the kind of shit that we want to share with everybody realistically. Is just what's working for us, and it's just growing exponentially.
And the reason we can share it is because we're not selling a 1-2 process. We're selling let's put in the work, make some money. I'm going to get on the webinars and push everyone. I hope that's okay. If that's not okay, if you're going to get your feelings hurt because I get on there and say, what have you done today to advance your agency or your business or your affiliate business or whatever, then you probably shouldn't join because sometimes people need to be pushed.
I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't know your name, friend, but the trust that you just said that you implicitly trust us, thank you very much.
It's Tasha. Yeah.
Hey, Tasha.
She is a friend.
She is a friend.
Awesome.
That's
Everyone.
the right name.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're not going to push it hard. We're doing this. It's fun for us. We like helping people out. We do have our own agencies that we're running as well. So we're not going to do a hard push on this. But if you want real information that's going to help, that is coming from guys that do it day in and day out. I work on this 7 days a week. I know Mike and Steve, I think he works more the laptop lifestyle,
Hey, listen, I put in 2 days a week. I'm working. At least 2, sometimes 3.
I will tell you guys is that we're not the type that really care about ninja tricks unless it makes everything simple and makes a ton of money. We're really more about just getting in there and making more money with things that work every time. And so if you really want to get in there, systemize and really kind of grow income on whether you're doing PPL or you're doing agency. If you're doing PPL and you come in, I'm gonna end you up. You're gonna end up with a freaking agency. Watch, I'm gonna make you do it. So just come in ready to work and just implement.
If you do PPL, you can blow it out of the water. To be honest, so
if you do PPL, you can kill an agency, and with the systemization, if you're not doing it, you're just leaving too much money on the table. So I'll be pushing you.
Exactly. So, like I said, we're not going to push it too hard. If you see the value in Steve, if you see the value in Mike, if you see the value in me and the information we bring to the table, go ahead and jump on. Once we hit a cap, I think we're going to close it down. I guess Steve determines how big that cap is, how much time he has to put into actually, answering question. Once he says, "Hey, this is getting a little much," we're going to have to shut it down, and not the whole thing. Everyone that gets in is going to stay in. But he'll say, "Don't bring anyone else in." So
Yeah,
keep that in
you
mind.
go too great.
And if you want us with you every step of the way, hop on. If not, then good luck. So I think that's all we got for everyone tonight, right? Right, guys? Anything else?
No, yeah, I think that's it. There, we could go online, but we can't. I got to go hang out with the family.
All right, everyone. If you have any questions, hit me up on Skype, email me, whatever. I'll get them answered as soon as I can. And thanks, Mike and Steve. It's a pleasure as always. And thank everyone for being on here. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Rock and rolling.
Take care, everyone.
Peace out.
Later.